to show you how you can use your personal finance sheet for your own needs. This is exactly the same document that I have for my own needs, and I've been using it since 2015. So this is exact copy. So it's powerful and it's very simple. So I've seen other documents out there for personal finance sheets. They're very complex. You don't need to have all that extra stuff. I have a section for all your savings and investments, so you can list them out here. I'll give you some examples like this. It totals it out right here, shows the difference over the months and then the percentage growth. And then I sometimes write sample notes. You can see I deleted a lot of my information, put like a lot of simple stuff. And then right here you can see I just wrote market went down because back in March the market did go down, so it just reflects why some of these numbers are lower. And then moving further down, I'll skip to this in a second. We're going to talk about debt payoff. And for debt, you have car one, car two, and your house. And again, all this stuff is made up. But let's say you have $300,000 house. Put that number in here. Car one here, and let's say car two is at this number right now. This section right here, I kind of quickly want to show you is your end of the year goal. So I always have it, and you can see how I have this kind of section frozen. So as you go over time right here, this whole stuff is frozen and the cells are fixed. So what I like to do is I update this number. So for 2020, this will be like this. And then when 2021 comes around, I'll just change this to say 2021 and I'll update the numbers to reflect on it. So as I go by, like as the time goes by, I'll see what this number is compared to what it is in real life. So if it's 3,500 right now, and my goal was 15,000, I just kind of have that as a really quick reference. So these should all be your goal numbers. This should be all your goal numbers. And so when you move down here, the goal here is that car number one should be down to $18,000 only, and car two should be paid off. That's why I put $0. And then the house should be at 260 as far as the remainder of the mortgage. Now, again, that's very simple. There's nothing else down here. I'll go to this section, which is your kind of formula stuff. Up here, you have savings and you have investments all together. It's your assets. And then down here, you have your debt, right? And so this section right here compares all that to kind of see how you're doing and what your kind of net worth is. With your savings and your investments, you want to kind of separate them, because I always make sure that what can I take out of my pocket very, very immediately, what's liquid that I can have right here, and then what are investments that ideally I don't want to touch for a long time. So what I did is, you can see the different cells that I picked. If you need help with this, you can kind of play around, and it shouldn't be too hard. But what you do is pick all the cells that are savings related, and then make it fit in here. And the sum, you can see I have only E8 here for the savings, which is right E8, which is right here. And again, this is made up stuff. So if you want to see me do it in a real example, let's say savings right here, it should be, the sum should be, I'll delete that. And I'm just going to pick the ones that I want with the, I think the all button held down. So Capital One 360, that's a savings account. General bank account, that's also savings. Roth IRA is an investment. All this stuff is investment. So that's it. I'm just going to hit enter, and then the number is going to reflect that $7,000, right? And so that's what you should do. So you should do it for 1 month. This section, you should do it for 1 month. And then all I do for the next month is just drag the number over. Oops. I'll go like this and drag it over, and it just takes the same exact numbers from the cells accordingly. And then you just keep doing that. And you drag it over, and now it's 8,700. And then these numbers change accordingly. So that's very helpful. And then you have your investment, and you can see these are the categories for investment, and that's how you should have it laid out. So step number one, when you have this document, is to list out your savings. And if you want to do it very neatly, do it all at the top, and then list out all your investment examples. So I have my online savings account at Capital One 360. I use that one because they have a really good 1.5 to 2% interest rate, depending on how the market's doing. And then you have a general bank account that's just for extremely liquid needs. My bank is a local one, is a very terrible interest rate. I just have it just because that's where payroll and all that stuff goes to. and that's where I can get my cash immediately if I need it. Roth IRA, for me and the spouse, the numbers are here. All made up numbers again, but the goal is to have it $10,000 by the end of the year, so hopefully these numbers will reflect that. Then you have investments, so like you can think of this as like Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, whatever investment you have. You can even put like Betterment, Lending Club if you use those, and you can separate them, which is what I would recommend. If you're doing Bitcoin investing, let's say use like Coinbase or something, you can put that here, put the number there. And then if you're doing anything extra, just investments. If you want to add like rental properties and stuff, you can definitely do that. I just it's kind of messy because rental properties is both an asset and a debt that you have to pay off. So I wouldn't really put physical properties in here. I use this more for like online savings, and then the stocks and Bitcoin and different things that I use like Betterment, Lending Club, all that kind of stuff. And then you get your number total over here. So again, made up numbers, but you have the number growth over time. And then as you drag the number over, like I just did, like that, you can see the number difference. And if it's a negative, I just come over here and color it red. And let me do that again. So if this one is a positive, I just come over here and make it green. Wrong green. This one. And so it just kind of helps me visually look at everything over time. And there's a little bit of a manual process to coloring it, but that's not really a big deal. This takes me about half an hour every month to review this process, and I spend, or I do it on the 15th of every month. It's just the day I picked for no reason, but I've been doing it for 5 years like that, and so I'm just going to keep doing that. So go ahead and fill out this information. What you want to do is come over here and make a copy for yourself so you can download this exact version and edit it. Right now you won't be able to edit this file. Start adding information, start deleting things as you want. And then the next thing you would want to do is adjust these cells to be the sum of whatever it is that you're trying to do. So for example, you might only have this many columns and you won't have the rest of them. So you want to come back down here and make sure that the investment is equal to whatever investment you have up here. Savings is equal to what's up there. And the rest of it is you just kind of like go like this and drag it over the months as it goes by to see the numbers, because it's all automatically done. The investment growth, saving growth, that's just percentage numbers off of here. The really cool part is to see the total current debt, which equals all this information here. And then my favorite part is the debt to asset ratio, which I made a blog post about earlier. And that just kind of talks about your debt compared to your assets. And I quickly, when I made this file, just made up completely random numbers, and that's why these numbers are through the roof. Hopefully your number is not this high, but this is actually a personal goal of mine to keep it less than 1.5. So all my debt should not be 1.5 times what my assets are. Sometimes you have debt like a house that might be expensive, you're going to pay it off over time, and you have hopefully 2 cars, hopefully no other credit card debt or anything like that. You might have student loan debt, so you might add that in here. And then you have all your assets, and while all that is good and dandy, you want to kind of check to make sure that your debt to asset ratio is a nice low number. And as the months go by, you can see that number getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And that will be a great thing to look forward to, So this is a great simple sheet that I use to kind of work on and then refer back to all the time to see how things are going, to see how I'm meeting my goals for the year, and see what needs more money than another, if based on however much I have that given month, right? I also build off of this specific one sheet by adding another sheet here, and this one is my habits. I like to create habits for my different investing goals, my different saving goals, and I just made one here for debt reduction. So this is exactly, again, how I do it on mine. You can add more cells if you need, just for different goals that you have. But every single month, on the 15th of the month, whenever I add these specific numbers, I also make sure I come back here and make sure I check off probably by the end of the month. So I'll come back here, not on the 15th, but the end of the month, and just make sure that I did do everything that I wanted to do that month. And if I didn't, I put a big red no. And you can just kind of copy and paste this different places as you need it once you have it one time. And it helps you kind of reflect to see what goals you're hitting consistently like this, and what goals you stopped hitting, and you can kind of reflect on why you did that. So that's my very simple video on my personal finance sheet. I hope this video, and this specifically the sheet, is very helpful to you. Please make any comments so I can understand if there's anything that I might be missing, anything you'd like to see me add to the sheet. And again, this is the public sheet, so make sure you make a copy for yourself and start editing right away. Thank you.